Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Sophie Gripenberg and I'm from Sweden. I'm a person who's very interested and passionate about yoga, and today I'm going to make an interview with my yoga teacher who I met in India, where I did my yoga teacher training. Hi Vinay, who are you?
Hello, namaste. My name is Archarya Vinay, and I belong to Rishikesh from India. As you know, it's like a small town in the in the in the in the in Himalayas, and it's called like one of the most popular destinations where people visit for yoga and spirituality. And just to tell about myself, I, I'm I'm living in Rishikesh. I was actually born here, and I've been teaching for last say 16 years on and more and so. And it's been like a very beautiful journey for me myself because uh, things that I have experienced, the power and the effects of the yogic system, I decided to share them with people. And this was one of the most motivating ideas for me that I choose this work. Uh, I was a regular student at school, university, college, and I was just doing regular things.
Yeah.
But something happened uh, way back in 1999, and the year 2000 it was, when we were changing into the century. That that was something which was out of the box for me, and I would say some magical and miraculous things happened. Um, it was like, yoga was like a part of my family system. My
Mm.
father was teaching it. My grandfather was because in India it wasn't like a commercialized system. It was like more of a very regular way of life, and people used to practice it their own sadhana, their own method of bringing in the spiritual aspect of life. So it wasn't like the way we know it today. It was nothing like that. But my grandfather was someone who was like, was, I would say, a realized soul or a being or a person. And he was very much into it. And from him, it passed on to my father. And whatever I was able to learn from my father, I got it. And then, like when the century changed, things also changed. The world changed,
Yeah.
and it was like, it wasn't like anything before. So when we entered into the new world, it was more like, are you an academic person? Are you like, do you have any degrees? Do you have any papers? Do you have any certification?
Mm.
So I decided that if I want to do something in that, then I also have to pursue some, like some courses or some academic qualifications. So
Yeah.
I decided to opt in into some programs at the university levels, and then I passed through them. But the journey actually started like 15, 16 years ago, and since then I have been sharing all that I have learned, and it's been like remarkable. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, and I think for just to the ones who are listening at this is that you and I just shared very quickly that I went to your yoga ashram, yoga shala, to become a teacher, and I came in contact with yoga when I was 17 years old, so that was 13 years ago. And I would guess my early 20s were a little bit on and off relationship with the yogic path. And when I got very sick, both from mental illness, and I had problems with my hip and my back and a lot of things, and I met this Indian yoga teacher in Thailand, which is a friend of yours, called Gagan. And he said to me, Sophie, you have to go to the best yoga teacher in the world. He's located in Rishikesh and his name is Vinay. So, and I was actually, before I met you, I said to people, because I did a lot of Ashtanga yoga before I got too many problems with my hips and joints. And I said, when the day is ready, I will know who's going to be my teacher. And then Gagan came after that and told me about you. So yeah, you've been like highly recommended by him, but also know from a lot of people to be a very well known and very respected yoga teacher. And I keep like referring to you as my yoga teacher, even if we're continents separated. So a little bit purpose with this interview I wanted to make with you, Vinay, is that we also be doing some collaborations now in the Corona period and time we're living in, when Rishikesh normally is crowded with yogis coming from all around the world, seeking a better lifestyle and health. And now we'll be trying to do some digital workshops instead. And I would like this interview to really be about you and your teaching, so people can get to know you better. And so I think some of the common questions I get from people, like the way we see maybe yoga in the West might not be the same as you've been taught in India. So what would you say is the definition of yoga? What does yoga actually means?
See, this is one of the most fundamental questions and point to discuss and debate, that what yoga is in India and what yoga is in the West. The first thing that I agree is that yoga is there. This is something that we all have to agree upon. West is not very much informed. It's like a very new phenomenon for people there. But the good point is that it's there. People know about it. People know that, okay, there is something about yoga. Like, I'll tell you a small story about it from my life, and then we'll go forward. In 2009, I was traveling for the first time to England to visit one of my friends there, and I took a flight from New Delhi to London Heathrow, and there was an American girl who was sitting next to me on the flight, and she was like a very bubbly kind of person, and very jolly, and she was speaking. I was like, okay, in my calm, and she was like about to speak and talk. So finally, I just we started talking, and it was like she never have been to India. She never have heard anything about India. She never knew about what kind of people live there, what kind of culture is there. But as soon as I mentioned yoga, then she was like, "Oh yes, I know that." And that was something like very 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 honoring for me, as well as very very soothing for me, because there was some kind of recognition that people were connecting with. So yoga for me is like a force which is penetrating throughout the world, connecting people. But as you know, with every phenomenon, there are some things which are good, there are some things which are not good. There are some positive, there are some negative, pros and cons. And the way yoga has been framed in last 10 years, I would say, because I started teaching in 2004, 2003. And at that time, it was completely different. People were aware, but there was a different kind of awareness. After 2014, I would like to quote the year. After 2014, the picture started to change, and there was more like a glamorous touch, or a commercial touch, whatever name you want to give to it, that was associated with it. And it was viewed in a completely different way that it should have been. Like, for me and for everybody else who have been practicing the system, yoga is like, it's like a way to define and to give a direction to your life. Like, how do you want to live? We all are living, but there are differences in the way we live. And that way of living just defines a lot of things about different people.
Yeah.
So yoga is like a method which you choose that, okay, I'm going to live this way. And by living this way,
Mm.
I'm going to reach up to these kind of realizations.
Mm.
Because in the Hindu system, in the Indian system, in the Eastern tradition, life is meant for something. It is not something which you just, which you just spend out. It's not like your money, which you just go out, hang out, and spend. It's like something which should bring out a kind of experience or realization.
Yeah.
And the Indian scholars or the Indian rishis, they have been spending so much time for thousands of years
Yeah.
to just establish a method through which you can get the maximum out of your life. The maximum out of your life. In terms of your physical health, in terms of your mind, your memories, your thoughts, your feelings. Where are all of these leading you? You have your body, you have your physical health, and you are supposed to enjoy that.
Mm.
You're supposed to, feel good about it.
Yeah.
You have your mind, your thoughts, and you're supposed to enjoy that. You're supposed to be very happy from that. You have your feelings, you have your emotions,
Yeah.
and everybody expects that I feel I feel good, I feel fulfilled, I feel content. Everybody, as a human being, as a living being,
Mm.
have this in their most deepest of natures. Now we, as individuals, try to seek our own methods and our own paths and our own ways of getting the maximum out of our lives.
Vinay, I think some people might have just been blown away how you made this very, very long answer to what yoga is. And because a lot of people, I think, in the West are like associated with the posture, the asanas, and the way you talk about it. It's that's just a small part of it. So maybe that's like the biggest misconception that. And why do you think that's the case?
Now
Because
see, yeah, please.
yeah, because I think that's a lot of people. When you said I'm going to yoga, you go into a class and you're going to perform with your body. And if I say I do yoga, people will say, oh, she go up in the morning and she do sun solutions. Or I'm a yogi, so that means, oh, you're a person who likes to do yoga, the asanas. So yeah, I guess that's how what do you think about that, and why has that become the way, and why is it more difficult to see it more as a maybe life philosophy or a way of living approach?
Because maximum people, or most of us, we associate ourselves with our physical bodies, right?
Mm.
What I am, I relate with that, with my physical presence. What I am physically. So that's where asanas, touch the
Mm.
most. And asanas are effective. They are definitely effective. They are definitely powerful. I mean, it's a long subject. We need a lot of time to discuss that. But in short,
Yeah.
I would like to say that asanas are a very powerful tool to make some very fundamental changes in your whole personality. They are not just to build up your muscles, or they definitely help you to keep yourselves fit, keep yourself flexible. They give you a nice stretch, and they give you a feeling of, like openness, good circulation, good nervous control. But my point is that if you have two gold coins in your hands, two gold coins, and if you have to buy an ice cream,
Mm.
then are you willing to spend those 2 gold coins just to buy an ice cream, which is like 50 cents or one euro? 1 euro is a lot. 2 gold coins are very expensive. They're like very valuable.
Mm.
So asanas, they are like gold coins. And the only thing that people are missing is that they're just comparing these gold coins with 50 cents, maybe a euro, whereas they're more valuable than that. We can achieve a lot of other benefits with the practice of asanas alone, which we maybe are not told about or we are not exposed to.
Yeah.
The point is that as many teachers or yogis who have been to the West and they have been teaching there, they have failed or they might not have wanted to convey this point that
Yeah.
what asanas can actually do. They have been only teaching about, okay, this is good to stretch your hamstrings. Apart from stretching the hamstrings, there are a lot of things that asanas can do. And if you ask me from my life, I can give you like 10 different examples of how asanas have helped me.
Mm.
So asanas are good if you do them, but I would say that don't be like, like this in your
Mm.
approach. Try to open up your horizons, try to open up your mindset and explore the depth of this system, how deep
Mm.
it is. And definitely you're going to find out very positive and very good things which are going to help you to make some very nice transformations in your life. This is like I'm shouting for last 15 years. Last 15 years I'm telling everybody that please don't be restricted in your approach
Yeah.
towards yoga. Try to expand it, try to look more, read more, experience more. So I would say that if you go to the gym, if you go to a yoga center, if you practice asana, it's very good, but do not just limit yourself to that. Try to explore more about the possibilities.
Mm. Okay, but that makes me, because I remember when I had my issues with my lower back and my hips and everything, and you just look at my feet and hands, and you knew my problem, also on a mental level. And I think that kind of expertise to really look at people's bodies and tell where is disaligned, we don't have, I have never met a yoga teacher in Sweden or anywhere. I've been traveling a lot in Europe and I'm going to many yoga classes, but most of the time the yoga teachers are they have developed their own style of yoga, and then the students have to follow the teacher instead of the teacher adapting the teacher according to the students. And I see this as a really, I guess, as a big misconception, because the way you taught, you were able to identify what each and every student needed for their health and well-being. So how have you learned that, and how do you see that compared to the West?
I never learned that. I received that.
Mm.
It's not something that belongs to me, actually. I'm being a bit more mystical and non-scientific in that. But I would say that I spend a lot of time of my practicing days into not just practicing asanas, but also meditating into the deeper, states. And as a result of that, I somehow, I mean, I've been told that a lot of times, but I've never took it as something to boast about or something as like like my to pump my ego. But I would say that if you become sensitive, if you become more, more like a uh, what's the word? What's the actual word? It's like you are able to see through someone.
Yeah.
It's like an extrasensory perception, which makes you capable of realizing what the other person is going through.
So what do you see then? Is it colors, or does it just feels on the inside, or how does it work?
It works like I perceive the person.
Mm.
You know, Xerox, photocopiers. To speak frankly, I'm able to print a Xerox copy of the person who is sitting in front of me in my own way.
Mm.
I'm able to feel the way they are feeling. I'm able to think the way they are thinking.
Mm.
But the only advantage that I have got is I'm able to decide and work out
Mm.
what they need,
Mm.
which they might not be able to decide.
Themselves.
Yeah, themselves. So
Yeah.
if you, for example, if you're having back issues, you know where the back issue is coming from. You know the name of the muscle. You know that there is some problem with your backbone. You know that you have been handling some moments in your past life. Everybody is aware of that. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But what people are not aware of that, what to do? What am I supposed to do? We have all the information that, okay, this is the asana, this is the medicine, this is the technique which is going to help you. But we are not sure. When I talk to someone, and this has been like the way I work, I like to work personally with people. And that's why, we keep our training courses very limited, 12
Yeah,
people, 10
it's
people.
very small groups.
Yeah, not more
Because I
than
met
that.
a lot of people in Rishikesh with like 50 students, or 55 or 60.
50, 60, 70, 100 is the normal number.
And I think even in my class, I felt so fortunate because we were only 3.
3 people.
Maybe not so good for you, but very happy for me because I had so many questions. But I think the maximum, you said 12, or it's very small group.
It was a very small group. From the marketing point of view, it was like a failure. It was disaster. But from personal point of view, I am still very happy to work with people like that, because it provides me a complete exposure and a complete opportunity to go deep inside the person and to be able to help them and correct them where they need the correction. And this is the approach with which I have been working for last almost 15, 16 years in my entire life. This is the approach. I want to actually help people. I want to actually support, assist, and wherever I'm capable, I want to give a helping hand to all those who are struggling somewhere in their lives, because we all deserve that, being a human. So whenever I talk to someone, whenever I meet someone, after the initial introduction, after the initial connection, I'm capable of getting a printout in my mind, in my heart, what that person actually needs. And this is something I can't justify. I can't give any evidences for that. I can't give you any reviews on that, how I'm able to do it. But this is something I do, and this is something I'm very honored, and I'm very pleased, and this is something that I feel like, I can do it. And so it's like a gift. And I want to do it for as many people as I can before I leave this world.
How many people have you taught? How many people have enrolled in your teacher trainings? Do you even know? It must be hundreds and hundreds.
Well, before teacher trainings, I've been working with people for 7, 8 years. I've been working individually with different people. I have worked with like people from all the groups, from all the classes.
Indians as well, right?
Indians,
Yeah.
and Westerners and foreigners I've worked with, like from Hollywood celebrities to sports people to
Mm.
athletes to housewives. Like I've worked with all kind of people, and it's been like such a tremendous experience that I've learned from everyone that I have worked with.
Mm.
So yes,
So you have many people like Rishikesh is very popular among Western people coming to seek yoga. And what would you say are like the common traits of those Western people coming to you? Uh, is there any particular problems or any particular questions they're more interested in? And have you seen any change in that? I mean, you said the change 2014, but I was thinking of particular about the people coming to you. Is there any differences based on nations or age, or why do people seek yoga?
I haven't seen any changes in those people who have been visiting us. There have been no change. The change has been there, collective change, in the numbers or in the quality of the expectations with which people are visiting Rishikesh. There have been a change in that. But there have been a consistency in those who are visiting Jeevmoksha, that is the name of our institute. There have been a regular consistency in that. And majority of people who come to us, they are those who are looking for a path in their lives,
Mm.
a way. They have been through a lot. They have been through a lot physically. They have been through a lot mentally. They have been they have been having challenges in their lives, and they are looking for some system or for a way which could assist them to
Mm.
give them more strength, to give them more strength with which they will continue. So this has been a consistent feature of the work that I have been doing, and I am very glad and I'm very, very grateful that from day one we have been able to maintain this consistency, that the intention with which we started our work, that was in 2012 that we started this institute,
Mm.
and the principles that we set up at that time, that what we are going to do, they're still the same in
Yeah.
2020.
So what are your future dreams, Vinay? What do you like to do in the future?
In future, I would be seeing myself getting old with like 3, 4, or 5 people around me who are visiting me for getting some insights into the yogic system. That's what I see as myself as. I don't have any higher goals or higher ambitions because I'm a man who is beyond all this. I like, of course, I do work. I have a small business that I have set up, but
Mm.
I don't have any intentions of, like setting up some corporate company. Or I would like to uh, continue with my work that I've been doing of helping people. In practical terms, I was able to buy a land uh, here, but due to some reasons and because of this current situation that we have been going through, I unfortunately I am forced to sell that land just to get disposed of some credits that I have done in the process of building.
Mm.
But I'm not disheartened. Maybe like we will get some other place,
Mm.
and I would like to build up like um, a small territory where People from everywhere, I'm still working on it. People from everywhere can come, they can stay there without any limitations on, okay, you have to stay for a 1 month course or 2 months course. If you want to come, you want to stay here for 6 months, of
Yeah.
course you can stay there. So this is my ultimate target, that I have to create a sanctuary like that where people from everywhere can come, stay,
Mm.
learn, practice, and have a fulfilling experience. This is where I see myself.
Mm. So the ones who wants to go deep and truly learn and give themselves time to do it. So
Even those who are just beginning, they are
yeah,
most welcome. We will give them the beginning experience. We'll give them the most intense physical experience. It's not like that we are just into the deeper part.
mm.
We are also open to give you like a nice stretch and tearing around of your body, so you can start feeling more better in your physical body, because every experience leads from your physical body. Every type of experience that may be of pleasure, pain, fulfillment, desperation, it leads from your physical body. It's just the way you manipulate and modulate your physical body that you will reach the depth of the experience. So we are also working on that plane. If
Mm.
you're not able to modulate and control your physical body, to move it, to turn it, to regulate it in the way that it should be, then if you are able to do it in the way, you'll be able to cultivate the next level of that experience. So even if you want to be spiritual, the path leads from your physical,
Mm.
right? You know it yourself.
Yeah, you
You
need
can
to look
sit for,
after your body and your health.
yeah.
But for the people watching and are very interested in yoga, what advice would you give people to do right now? They want to start. They might be beginners, they might be advanced. What are the key elements as you see it that will be good to facilitate in your life?
The key elements would be start practicing asanas that the way they should be done.
Yes.
Start practicing asanas the way they should be done and they are done. And along with that, start working on your breath.
Mm.
Incorporate pranayama into your lives. Even 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day.
Mm.
So it's like, 50 minutes of your day, if you can design and dedicate to the practice of asanas and pranayama. I won't say that you from day one you just start sitting into a posture and meditate and some light will come out of your head. It's not going to happen like that. Start working on your bodies. Start understanding your body. Start understanding your posture, your movement, your reflexes, your muscle control, the way you move, the way you handle your body in day-to-day works, not just in the gym or in the workout,
Mm.
but the way you manage and you control your body in your day-to-day movements.
Mm.
Start working from there, and asanas are going to be helpful in that. They will provide you the essential range of motion, which is extremely helpful in getting you more freedom in the way
Yes.
you carry around your body. That
Mm.
is the most essential part of it. And the next part is work on your breath, work on your prana.
Mm.
Now, in the West, people know it as breath or energy. In the East, we know it as prana. So I've used both the words. So these are the two most essential things that every beginner should incorporate into their daily workout. I can say it's workout. Of course, it's a workout.
Yeah. So those who are very interested in this can, of course, look at the Jeevmoksha website and keep an eye on when all the digital and online trainings are doing. And maybe we can have more conversations like this and dig a little bit deeper into other aspects of yoga as well and give people even more in-depth details. Because I know you have many also very wonderful philosophical stories. And I think people are also very interested in the history of yoga and what books to read and where you can learn more. So I really, really want to thank you, Vinay, for taking your time and sharing your perspectives. It's been an honor to listen to you again. I feel very inspired and thinking about my daily routine to keep it going. So thank you very, very much for this opportunity. It's been amazing. And we
Pleasure.
will put the link to the schools, and hopefully we'll do some future collaboration as we've done with digital trainings as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And apart from like everything else, it's like personally to me, it's a very big thing that whatever you're doing, I would say it on the record. And I'm really honored to have this from you. So my sincere gratitudes for you, Sophie, and for all everybody who wants to be into the yogic system. It's like it's open for all. It doesn't have any it doesn't have any benchmarks that you must be flexible to this point or that point. It's very clearly written in one of the most traditional texts on Hatha Yoga, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, that if anybody from a child to an adolescent to women to man to an elderly or to a sick person, not just healthy person, even to sick persons, they all can practice yoga without any discriminations. And they
Regardless
can
of
achieve
age.
the benefit, regardless of anything.
Exactly.
So whoever wants to come in, I would say this, don't postpone, come in today and start working. And thank you, Sophie, for
Thank
this
you.
opportunity. It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you so
Thank you
much.
very much.